Good evening, everybody. This is Friday night, about 5 minutes till 11 p.m. We had no intention of making a video tonight, but something has come to our attention that we felt like we needed to address. We had been out shopping tonight, just been to Walmart doing our usual weekly Friday night routine, and we came in, and I think I was on the computer, and she told me we had gotten a message on our NC Memory Makers Facebook. Someone was asking us, they said they had just seen a video put out by Yankee in the South, Will and Dawn, that people would no longer, people like us and people like them would no longer be able to shoot videos in not just the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, but any national park. So when I couldn't believe that when the first person asked me that, I said that's got to be a mistake. Because how can they tell you that? So then somebody made a comment on one of our videos, another person saying they had seen the same video. So I knew there was something to it. So I said, I told her, I said, we better go in there and turn this on and see what's going on. So we did just sit down and watch Yankee in the South video. And we also discovered there's several more videos up. Some of them have been up for days. Some of them have been up for a couple of weeks now. And so apparently what is going on at this point is that the National Park Service has decided that anybody like us who creates videos of the national park, of our experience there, and post it on YouTube or TikTok, which we don't do TikTok.
I think it's any social.
Well,
those are the two
that were specified.
Yeah.
So we do YouTube, obviously. And many of our videos have come within the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. In fact, several of the ones that we have done, several of the ones that have gotten the most views come within the national park. So they have decided that, I guess people like us with just a little over 3,000 subscribers are somehow, I don't know how to say this, I'm at a loss for words here, but we are not supposed to film in the national park boundaries any longer. I don't know I know it's a rule that's everybody, and I don't know if they're just going to focus on some of the bigger ones because there's people out there that's got a lot more subscribers than we've got. I don't know if they're wanting to make an example of them or what's going on here, but I do want to address this because we're starting to get questions ourselves about it, and we weren't even aware of this. I had no idea until I got that message, and then someone else made a comment, and then we went and watched the video. But I'm just going to give my thoughts on this. Now, I'm not one to mince words. I'll just be honest with you. I'm going to try to remain, civil here. But here's the thing. I'm not one that minces words. You don't have to know wonder where I stand on something, because I'll tell you where I stand. I think this is government overreach to a ridiculous degree. And I just wonder when people are going to say enough's enough. Because quite honestly, here's what happened. They actually tried to institute this rule a couple of years back, and somebody actually took it to court and won. The court declared that the National Parks rule was unconstitutional, which it is, by the way. It is completely unconstitutional, and they won. But then another court, another judge, decided to overturn that and ruled back in favor of the national parks. So now a person like us who just goes, and if we're in the national park boundaries and we're in a campground and we bring to you our camping experience like we did last year, we can get a fine for that. We can get fined for just showing you what we're doing around the campground. And we have brought you a couple of sunrises from Clingman's Dome and a sunset from Clingman's Dome, and just several beautiful national park videos. We brought you some snow scenery from the national park, and things that people who don't get to go themselves enjoy. I can't tell you the number of comments we have gotten, just as small as we are, where people have told us that they don't get to go as much as they would like to, or maybe even not at all, and they go through us. In fact, this comment just came in this evening on one of our posts from one of our viewers, and this is an example of what I'm talking about right here. There are people who we go to the park vicariously for them, and they basically enjoy watching our videos, and that's the only time they get to visit. I don't know if this person gets to visit or not, but there's a lot of other people out there who have let us know that they don't get to go, but they enjoy watching us and other YouTubers like us who show them that content. And the National Park Service is putting a stop to that. People who maybe are disabled, people who can't get out, um, they're trying to limit our ability to make videos like that for other people to enjoy. And I think that's a shame. And the national park and its service in its infinite wisdom has decided that I don't know what their thinking is. Maybe somebody some comments. Give me the logical reason for this rule. Because here's how I look at it. Do you have anything you want to say before I get started?
Well,
That was just the introduction.
we were talking about it before we started, and I was telling him it's almost like they're trying to get people not to come, or as many
You
people.
gotta wonder.
Because it's like they're starting the parking permits, so they're going to be charging you for that. If you want to record, if we wanted to continue doing this, we can get permits, but we were watching some other people and doing some research, and
It's not that simple.
it's not easy. It's expensive, and then you have to have someone follow you around, and you got to pay him
Can
something per hour.
hold your thought? I want to come back to. I want to interject something you said there about the parking permits. Now, we made a video on that when we were at Sugarland's Visitor Center. Now, what's interesting is I walked into Sugarland's Visitor Center and told them I was going to be making a YouTube video on that right there in the national park, and they said nothing to me. They didn't say, "Oh, by the way, we want to make you aware." The guy said, "That's fine." He wouldn't let me interview him directly, but he said, "If I'm standing here explaining it and you're just recording me, that's fine." It's kind of odd to me they did not say anything to us then, like, "Okay, are you aware of the requirement?" Nothing was said. Tonight's the first we've heard of this. So,
And it may be something that's going to start being pushed more. If it was just done in October, the end of October of last year, it may be that they're going to start enforcing it and they just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
when we made that video last week, there were several people made comments. I want to clarify something. We didn't come up with a parking pass idea. And it's not that you said we did, but I understand frustrations. We were getting all kinds of comments about government this and government. Look, we don't like it either, but it was our job to give you the information, to be aware of it. Since we go a lot, and since that's going to affect visitors there, we were simply trying to give you the information. We didn't say anything for or against it. I tried to be very balanced. Believe me, we have our beliefs too on things. We have our thoughts on things, our opinions on things, and sometimes it may creep into one of our videos, usually out of my mouth, to be honest with you, because I'm a little more outspoken. But we try to be very balanced on that. I do get the reason behind it if it actually accomplishes what they say. I also get what some of y'all are saying too. This is not something we came up with. This is just information we were relaying. So that's the point I wanted to make. So back to you now.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I was just going to say is, even those small little vloggers and stuff like that, even before we started doing this and when we kind of discovered YouTube, that people were making videos and such, we like to hike. Mm-hmm. And so those videos that people who have done these hikes, we've watched them, things that they learned, okay, mm-hmm. Be careful on this part of the trail, you need to make sure and take this or that, has been very helpful to us. So it's like...
It's actually a service.
It really is. And there's so much that we have learned and then went and did ourselves because somebody else did it and made a video of it. And like I said, a lot of hikes, a lot of people can't do these hikes. I mean, mm-hmm. I know how bad it hurts my knees and stuff like that. So there are people out there who can't do it, and they basically watch people like us and enjoy it and get to see the scenery. And so this here is just knocking that out. I think it's really sad.
Yeah. Now look, there's enough restaurants around Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge to keep us busy longer than either one of us is going to live. So it's not like
we're not shutting down.
No, we're not going to do that. But this is a kick in the gut is for several reasons. And the National Park Service and their infinite wisdom, and I don't think any of them there can even explain any logic other than greed. This is just a way you have to, like she said, apply for a permit, which I think they said maybe it may vary by national parks, but somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to a couple of $100 for that. Now listen how ridiculous this gets. Not only do you have to apply for a permit, we're not talking about a film production crew. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just her and I going camping. Now that's what we're talking
about. With our basic camera.
If we show you a video of our dogs in a campground in the national park and we upload it and make any money off of it, They want some of that. So they want you to get a permit. Now here's the deal there. It can take up to like 30 days to even get approval. The fee is non-refundable for the application for the permit, so even if you get turned down, they're going to keep you money. Then they want you to have an insurance policy payable to the national park. I don't even know what that's supposed to cover. Some damage is done in the amount of $1 million. And get this, they said in some cases, you may be required to have a ranger accompany you while you're filming.
And that's up to $50 per hour that you
Now,
got to pay them.
They can go jump in the lake. Okay, I'll film around, I'll go all around the national park boundary and film from outside of it and see what they're going to do about it. Here's my thoughts of this. They didn't make those mountains. They didn't create them. Okay, they didn't create that sunset or that sunrise. Okay, as far as the campground, they may have created that, but we paid to be in it.
We're advertising for them.
If you don't see this for what it is, folks, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's been a push for several years now to erode our freedoms and remove our Constitution or overthrow it or undermine it, whatever term you want to put on it. We especially saw that start happening in 2020. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'm not going to say anything that might get me in trouble. But y'all know what I'm talking about, where government started to step in, try to tell churches what to do, tell people what to do. I'm not talking about laws that make sense. I'm talking about just control. This is still America. And I appreciate national parks and the beauty they provide. But listen, there's no human being owns those mountains. There's no human being created those mountains. And no human being has the right to tell anybody they can't photograph or film in those mountains. Or whatever national park it may be. Now, like I say, we can find other things to do and other things to film. That's not a problem. But here is the thing with it. Like she said, I don't know. If you have an idea what the motive might be for this, other than just them wanting a percentage of it. Look, they didn't buy my camera. They don't buy me gas to come up there and do that. You know what these videos do? It's what it's done for us, and it does for other people. It gives other people ideas of things they'd like to do on their vacation. Mm-hmm. It points out places to them they may not be aware of. I can't tell you the places we've gone because we saw somebody else went and it looked like something that would be fun to do or enjoyable, mm-hmm. and we did it. What videos like that do is it brings people to the area to experience it for themselves. Are they wanting to is that what they're trying to do? I don't know. You tell me. This is mind-boggling. Another thing that we do in our videos, and we're not the only ones, other YouTubers do as well, is we respect the national parks. And if you have watched any of our videos done, whether it's a drive to Cades Cove or I know we did one last spring, maybe summer, where we drove up to Newfound Gap and there was a gentleman approaching a black bear, like the rules clearly state not to do. And I put it on film. I figure if he wants to break the rules, he ought to be famous, you know. And I use that as an example of what not to do. Basically, our videos, you know what we've tried to do? We've tried to reinforce respect for the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. We have pointed out how people were throwing their masks on the hiking trails. I don't know why you'd wear a mask hiking anyway, but that's another discussion for another day. But we have outlined how people just trash the park, and we have talked about how people deface the structures by carving their names on the signs and in the buildings in Cades Cove. We have done everything on our channel to try to encourage people to respect the park and abide by the rules. So I don't know how productive it is to tell people who are there for the right reasons to film the beauty of the place, to bring people there to spend their money and to respect it. I don't know what the rationale is for telling them you can't do that anymore. And I'm kind of out of things to say now. I mean, I'm out of things I should say on camera anyway.
Yeah, so it's something that, like I said, we got a comment or a couple comments tonight, watched a couple of YouTube videos, so we need to check. They said to go to the National Park website to get more information.
National Park Service, yeah.
So do that.
Here's not just to get more information. I want to interject something right here. I don't think any one person can make a difference, but maybe a bunch can. I would encourage, if you enjoy our channel and our content, or if you enjoy some of the other channels and their content of the same nature, that's fine. Just bombard them with emails and complaints. Give them something to do for a while, because this is ridiculous. This is unconstitutional of the worst degree. And listen, if people just keep sitting back and taking this eroding away of our freedoms, where's it going to stop? Where's it going to stop? Folks, we're literally talking about two people riding up into the national park and recording a video and putting it on you. That's literally what we're talking about here. We're not talking about filming a movie. We're not talking about bringing a movie set in there and setting up cameras and impeding visitors. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about two people recording their experience and showing it to other people. What do you say to that?
I don't know. I'm still kind of shocked
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. We
But-
might should have waited and made this video tomorrow when I've had a chance to sleep, but and think about it. But yeah, you can watch Will and Dawn, Yankee in the South, and others that put out, and they're actually showing screenshots from the National Parks website. Now this is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. So that's our thoughts on it. I don't know what else to say.
We're still going to be going to the area. We're still going to be going to the Smokies, still doing our camping, our hiking, and so forth. So we won't be able to show, as of now, if the rule stays, us actually on it. But, you know, we can always record outside the national park, tell you what we're doing, come back and give you our thoughts on it.
Well,
you know, we can do stuff
this was
like
overturned one time already as unconstitutional. Maybe it will be again. Let's hope.
And we may keep recording and just hold on to it.
Yeah.
And then hopefully when this gets overturned,
See,
we can publish it.
we had plans this summer. I had told y'all when we were going through Cates Cove, I actually zoomed up on a mountain above Cates Cove called Gregory Bald. That mountain has an amazing display of flame azaleas of every color you can imagine. I'm talking about blooms by the millions. Not just a couple of bushes, but I'm talking about you can actually walk through paths through it. It's like you're in like a fairy tale land or something. If you go up there with its people, we were going to hike that this year and make a video out of it to show people the beauty of that place. Something don't change, we're not going to be able to do that. I don't even know if I'm going to do the hike. If something doesn't change, I don't know if I'll even do the hike. But you know, we actually have national park license tags on our vehicles. That might be changing soon because they get a portion of that. My attitude right now is not good, because it's like I have tried to encourage people to support the park. I've tried to encourage people to respect it when they're there, and this is just ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
how I
all
feel.
national parks, so yeah.
We were actually talking about going to Yellowstone and Grand Teton within the next 2 to 3 years. So I still want to see those areas, but who knows? But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just like, I'm just,
All right.
I'm in all of it.
I guess
too.
that about does it. I thought we needed to address this because we were starting to get questions, and honestly, we had no idea until we got home tonight. So
It just makes me wonder how long till they actually start coming down on. Because if it was just end of October last year, and people are starting to really find out about it.
but I would encourage you,
careful.
email them, tell them how you feel about this. If there's a person out there watching this that agrees with this rule, please leave that in a comment and explain to me the rationale behind it. I was reading some of the comments on Will and Dawn's, and I didn't find one that agreed with it. I didn't read them all, but every one I read, it was just everybody pretty much in agreement. This is ludicrous. There's no logical rationale behind it. Look, the national park has rules. Many of them do make sense. Don't deface the structures. That makes perfect sense. Don't throw your trash down. Don't approach the wildlife. All of those are smart rules. This one don't fall into that category of smart. Greed, yeah. Ridiculous, yeah. Overreach, yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Just wanted to make this. Well, I didn't want to make it. Had no choice. This is probably the worst feeling I've had in my stomach making a video since I
I
hit
know
this
it is
car
kind of
rental.
sad because
Yeah.
like, all these plans that we have for when it warms up.
Yeah, we had some. It's going to be altered now, at least as far as our ability to bring it to you anyway.
Yeah. But we'll still be doing other things.
I'm not
And-
doing that 11.5 mile hike if I can't record it. So
Well, I mean, we can record it ourselves for ourselves.
Yeah.
But they also said state parks aren't included in this. So, I mean, we can be doing state
but
parks.
I think no, yeah, that's a good point. I think the Blue Ridge Parkway is. I think the Foothills Parkway sections are. The Blue Ridge Parkway is under the National Park System, so that would affect the Blue Ridge Parkway. But as far as I know, not state parks, maybe state forests.
I mean, we'll have to do some research and be really careful, as
Yeah.
long as this is.
So that's that, folks. So I'm not going to say if you like this video because I don't like it.
If you like us.
If you like us, yeah, subscribe. If you don't like us, there's a few that don't. Believe me, I realize that. But anyway, I guess y'all have a good evening, and till next time, outside the national park, like and subscribe.
And find us on Facebook.
All right, have a good night.